Alright, what's up guys? So I wanted to do a broadhead test on a broadhead that everybody's been using, and I've used it. I use it for turkeys. I don't use it a lot for deer. That's the G5 MEGAMEAT. Now a lot of people use the dead meat, but this is its bigger brother. Everybody knows it's got a ginormous cut. It's got longer blades, which gives it that bigger cut. But I've had problems with it shooting at deer. Turkeys, never had any problems with it. Turkeys are made of paper. Whitetails, I've seen some issues, so I want to see and test if that was just my instances or if it keeps happening. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a sharpness test, we're going to do a penetration test, a deflection test, and a crushing test for shooting in shoulders and see how the blades hold up, and we'll do a paper sharpening test throughout the whole series of that, see how it holds up. And we're going to do it all at 20 yards on everything. That's a general 20 to 30, 20 to 40 is the general distance that most people shoot, but I was going to do an accuracy test. Everybody knows these things do fly like darts. So let's get into the paper test. We'll do it and see how sharp it is, and then we'll go back into the rest of the test. Pretty sharp out of the box. Yeah, those are razor sharp. So this is what I have for the penetration test. Is 8 layers of cardboard in here, and I got some pretty thick vinyl to simulate hide. And yes, I do understand that this is a really poor way of doing it, crude way of doing it. I don't have ballistics gel and I don't have meat. You got to work with what you got. I understand that it's going to act different on animal, this and that, whatever. I wasn't born yesterday and it wasn't in the dark. So just so before everybody comes at me with a bunch of crap, I understand this, but this is the way that I'm going to do it because this is what we got. You got to work with what God gave you. This is what I have. So this is what we're going to use, and I think it'll be pretty cool. So we're going to go through this. We're going to use this, shoot it, and then do the sharpness test. All right. Let's see how this thing does. So it fully deployed. There's 1, 2, 3 blades deployed on that. It went through all 8 layers. Penetrated pretty good into the target. So pulling it back out of the target, every one of the blades broke but one. Every single one of them broke but one. So I'm gonna have to go grab another one. But we can still check the sharpness on that blade. Pretty sharp still, to be honest. Yeah, a little bit duller. It's good. All right, the deflection test. For the deflection test, whenever you're shooting animals, you hit bones, your arrow does weird thing, or the broadhead could just completely deflect off of it. So I have a PVC pipe covered with a pool noodle to simulate meat and a little bit of resistance. Now, before you crap on me for using PVC pipe, I just want you to know that PVC is the closest thing to bones. So, come at me now. Now, I think it will bust it because they do have the strongest ferrules of any broadheads that I've shot. They got a real good chisel tip on it. So, I think it'll bust through it. It's just if it's going to deflect or just go on through. Oh, that absolutely dead center smoked it, and it sounded like it broke it. How did the blades hold up? Well, it looks like we got good penetration still through everything. And I can see one blade, another blade. I don't see a second, or I don't see a third hole, so we'll see when we pull it out. And the blades are absolutely perfectly fine. I don't think there's one thing wrong with any of these blades. We'll pull it the rest of the way out. But look at the freaking, the carnage. Stuff was falling out. All right, let's see what it did. Oh, oh. Yeah, it broke it in half. Oh, if that was a deer's leg bone, or the bone going up to the scapula, right there where the elbow is, where the heart is, that would have snapped it in half. And just kept on trucking because them blades were perfectly fine. That's freaking cool. Ah, they're still freaking razor sharp. It's a little dull. It finally did. That blade's a little bent at the very end. Just at the very end. That's still sharp. All right, for the third and final test, we got the cardboard with the vinyl on it, and behind that we have this thing of OSB board right here to simulate a shoulder. That's about as hard as a shoulder. That's probably harder than a deer's shoulder, to be completely honest. That's some stout stuff. So we're gonna see how it does coming in. It's got to cut and it's got to open through the cardboard first, and then it's got to go and see if the blades and stuff can handle the OSB. All right. RIP to this broadhead. Shoo! All right, so we have full deployment of the blades. 1, 2, 3, full deployment. There's the big old hole. All three of them opened up. Looks like it opened up a little weird. And it absolutely blew through that OSB and still penetrated into the target. So let's pull it out now, because I'm curious to see what it looks like after this. But it blew a pretty good size hole in that OSB. Holy crap. They actually held up pretty good. I mean, that one's a hair bent. That one's a hair bent. But I mean, we're talking like fine hairs. Those broadheads are still good. A little loose. It broke it right there on that one. That's a little loose. And it's really loose, so they're pretty loose in there, but that tip done its job and they just absolutely destroyed that thing. If I can hold it still. That's sharp. That's sharp. And that's sharp. So there you go, guys. I was actually highly looking to get into this test and destroy every single one of these blades and them not even hold up to the deflection test, but I was wrong. I'm actually really impressed with how long these blades are and how thin they are, how much and how well they actually held up. Like I said, that real blunt tip, that chisel tip over there, having a thick ferrule, being able to bust through the wood and that bone really helps them blades get in there. I don't know if I would run per se still the MEGAMEATs for deer, but that's me personally. But I definitely would run its little cousin, its little brother, the dead meats. Definitely would. I know they fly like darts, so getting a 3-blade, you getting a big hole. I just don't like them long, thin blades. But the dead meat is a high contender for this year for deer season. So, well, there you go, guys. There's the test. Hope you liked it. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you ain't subscribed, I would greatly appreciate that. Really helps me out. Appreciate y'all. If y'all want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button. See you guys.